Some may never take our natural resources for granted, but one city is fighting to get it. We'll take you there.
It may seem like it couldn't happen to you, but the problem is a lot closer to home than you think.
Plus, get ready to make a splash at the new recreation area coming to Davison. All that and more on today's edition of DTV News. A city's residents who have seen their fair share of struggle, unemployment, crime, and even an emergency manager put in position. Now, the newest threat pours from kitchen spigots and shower heads. I'm Matthew Smith.
And I'm Christian Twing. The city of Flint has had ongoing problems with their water for months. Now residents are fed up and asking, is it safe? And when will this problem be fixed?
Water, a basic need for everyday life. We use it for drinking, cooking, cleaning, and bathing. With Michigan being the Great Lakes state, we take it for granted. But what if that basic necessity was taken away from you?
Flint, a major city here in Michigan that is no stranger to struggle, is now having to fight for a natural resource.
On an Arctic cold afternoon with wind chills reaching -20, Flint residents took to the streets in front of City Hall expressing their concerns, demanding clean water. This protest is in direct response from a notice Flint customers received about the high levels of dangerous TTHM in their water. TTHM, also known as trihalomethanes, are formed as a byproduct when chlorine is used to disinfect water for drinking.
We need something done, and we need something done now.
This water crisis is taking a toll on residents, including Jackie Pemberton, who is standing up for her granddaughter.
I have a 3-year-old granddaughter that we bathe her in Flint water. She breaks out in a rash. We bathe her in her grandmother's water out in Holly, no rash.
To figure out how exactly we got into this mess, we sat down with Flint's mayor, Dane Walling.
Could you walk us through a little bit about how we got to this point?
The city of Detroit, who we had been a customer of for over 40 years, they terminated our contract. And we had a 12-month window to find a new source or to negotiate a new higher cost short-term contract with the Detroit system. That's what the county did. They're paying quite a good premium for that short-term supply. The emergency manager here at the city of Flint made a different decision.
And that decision, getting water from their own backyards, the Flint River.
The river will act as the city's water source until the KWA pipeline is built. The pipeline is bringing water from Port Huron to Flint.
A year from now, we'll be hooking up to the new water pipeline. We'll have our own source.
We got off the Detroit water, and we're now getting the water from the Flint River. Why can't we go back to the Detroit water until the pipeline's built?
Well, that would be an option. I mean, it's technically possible. The pipes are still connected.
So what do residents do in the meantime that refuse to drink the water? According to the city and mayor, they are okay to keep drinking it.
So the city's given the residents the okay to drink the water, and you and your family drink the water, is that right?
We do, yep. We've used it throughout. Again, I was not aware of the high levels of TTHM.
Neither were residents, and that's why they are demanding answers.
Answer the question! Answer the question!
Residents are also concerned about the decisions being made without them, including water rates.
I'm concerned about the quality and affordability of our water. You know, we're under an emergency manager situation, so this decision to move to the Flint River was basically made in Lansing with no input from Flint residents, and we really don't have recourse in our local government.
The city's still under emergency manager, and what is the plan moving forward as mayor to work with the emergency manager to fix these problems?
I've advocated for increasing the public information and transparency, because I think customers have a right to know. I've stepped up and asked the governor to make funding available so we can improve the treatment and fix the water system, and do that without putting the rates on our local customers. So I'm going to continue to work with the emergency manager, but I'm also going to advocate for the changes that I think we need.
The pipeline is said to be completed and supplying water to people by June of 2016. But until then, the people will be concerned about the water coming in their homes. Reporting out of Flint, Matthew Smith.
We'll be complaining every day.
DTV News.
Michigan's roads have been crumbling. Now the question is, where will the money come from to give them the attention they need? A controversial bill out of Lansing has been the hot topic for months. It's a bill that promises to fix the roads but raises the taxes by 1%. It also would get rid of the sales tax on fuel and replace it with the wholesale tax. The money raised would go to benefit K-12 schools and also community colleges. It would also give money to Michigan's deteriorating road structures. But some are saying the bill is too wordy. They want a simple bill stating funds would go directly to the roads. Governor Rick Snyder says this is our only chance to fix the road problems, and the safety of our citizens depends on it.
This is about strengthening our economy. This is about being safer. And that's why this is really important.
Are you ready to hit the beach this summer without leaving Davison? Well, grab your swimsuit and get ready to make a splash. The plans for Lake Callis in Davison Township are well underway. The recreation area will include volleyball courts, a beach with swimming area, a splash pad, and tons of other fun. The land was named after the late Bob Callis. The grand opening is set for Saturday, June 20th.
Many high school students drive on a daily basis, but are not aware of the responsibility they take on. Some senior students here at Davison wanted to bring attention to the dangers students may face while on the road. A mock crash was set up in the parking lot of the high school. First responders arrived at the scene of the accident to show students just what goes into trying to save lives after a distracted driving crash. It caused many students to rethink their bad habits while driving.
It absolutely gives you chills. I mean, it made the little hair on the back of my neck stand up, and just a rush of adrenaline and emotion. I mean, even myself, I think you feel yourself wiping back tears or holding back tears, and your head starts to hurt just because of the reality of what can happen with poor decisions is pretty grim, and it's forever. And I hope that by experiencing it today, we won't have to experience it this weekend or this summer.
Coming up next in sports, Caitlin Abdullah will take you inside the journey of Davison's track team.
Find out what goes into becoming a successful track athlete and what it takes to get to states.
I remember it so clearly. I hated losing more than anything. Every loss put me one step closer to going over the edge. And sometimes it almost did. But something else mattered more than winning.
Good game, man.
Thanks. Sportsmanship.
Hello again, Davison, and welcome back to DTV Sports. I'm Trace Clinton here on the desk today, so let's get right to it. Springtime is here, and you know what that means. It's open season for track. Davison's track and field team has been absolutely dominating the competition. DTV's Caitlin Abdullah takes us inside what it takes to make a strong track athlete.
Track and Field 2015. Davison has some great athletes for all sports, but for track, they put blood, sweat, and tears into trying to get to the top.
Our goal always is to win the conference. After that, our goal is always to just get as many kids to the state meet as possible. We like to break school records along the way, but really our goal is to win the conference and then get as many kids to the state meet as possible.
So the goals are just to get our personal records. So we want people getting all state this year. We want our relay teams, whether it be the 4x4, 4x2 field events or just individual running events. We want people to do the best they can.
After regionals, Davison sent 13 track runners to states where hopefully they can bring home some titles. This year's track team is loaded with college talent. 5 runners have signed off to their colleges and they are all in the same place that 2014 DHS graduate Jordan McDermott was during her senior year. McDermott is a freshman at Eastern Michigan and already has broken 3 MAC records this school year.
I have to say it really helped my senior year. I was at a higher mileage, and over the summer I trained a lot, and I even trained a lot with the boys cross country team here. So it really helped my transition going on.
Jordan wasn't a star from the get-go. She worked to where she got, so I think that the kids saw what it took to be that kind of runner and the kind of time you have to put in, and that certainly has trickled down to her teammates still here at school.
The team will battle it out in Rockford on May 30th for a state championship. Caitlin Abdallah, DTV Sports.
Thanks, Caitlin. Last night, the boys and girls track teams placed second at the SVL Conference Championships. Both teams hit their goals, setting a ton of new personal bests. Great job, guys, and good luck with the rest of your season. Going on at the same time, girls varsity soccer was wrapping up their season as the Clarkston Wolves invaded Cardinal Country. Elena Hilgendorf and Lila Kelsey put in a point for the Cards, each assisted by Casey Wengler. Though despite Samantha Tracy's 8 saves, the night ended with a score of 2-2 on the board, ending the season 10-5-4 for the Lady Cards. Davison will host Oxford next Tuesday, May 26 at 6:30 for the opening round of districts. Congrats on the winning season and good luck, ladies. And coming up later, DTV will be airing the girls lacrosse state semifinals. Grant Palmentier and myself will be on the call, first with the D1 game at 5:30, with the undefeated Midland Dow Chemics squaring off against the Heartland Eagles. D2 starts at 7, featuring the Lake Orion Dragons and the Waterford United Captains. Should be a good time and some good games, so be sure to tune in at dtvnews.org. Well, Davison, that's it for today in the sports world. Thank you all so much for tuning in, but for now, I'll hand it back to Christian and Matt on the desk for the rest of your news.
An AP course is an advanced placement test. It is a course that contains college rigor and college material, and it's taught very much like a college course.
Many students here at DHS are taking advanced placement classes. If you want to take part yourself for next year, schedule an appointment with your counselor today. Students in the classes say it's a big payoff.
I like the AP class because it gives me an opportunity to see what colleges might be like. It's more rigorous and it's faster than a normal kind of class.
It's a frightening problem that many of us don't realize is happening in our own community. Human trafficking. DTV's Hannah Livingston takes us into this modern-day form of slavery.
Well, human trafficking is a very serious issue in modern-day America because it is modern-day slavery.
And this type of crime takes many forms, but has a reoccurring theme.
Human trafficking is when you manipulate somebody, you purchase them, you sell them, you threaten them into commercial sex or forced labor.
This doesn't just affect big cities, the problem is closer to home than you may think.
But you see it in Flint in different ways and in Genesee County in different ways. It's individuals who are down on their luck, who really have nowhere else to turn, who become exploited and are forced to go out onto various roadways and prostitute themselves.
But it is only now that we are changing the way we look at the victims.
It's been with us forever, but we're actually focused on doing something about it now, and that is establish the commission, decriminalize the actual victim of human trafficking, provide the services that are so badly needed.
Teresa Flores, raised in Flushing, experienced all of these horrors firsthand when she was blackmailed into human trafficking as a teenager and didn't even know it.
8 years ago, I went to a conference just like this, and I had no idea that what happened to me was human trafficking. And when I learned about it, it all came crashing in, and it was like, wow, this is what it was called.
Kids in our school took control and forced her to have sex with strangers whenever they wanted.
Traffickers are really good at being manipulative, at convincing people that
this is their idea or that they agreed to it. Again, whether it's labor or sex trafficking.
It happens slowly, and it's how they find that one thing that you're vulnerable.
Threats are often made to victims, making them afraid to tell someone what is happening.
A lot of people say, why didn't you just walk away? Why didn't you just say no or tell your parents? But you have to remember, first of all, I was a kid, and I was scared. I was terrified. They were hurting me physically, and they said they would kill my brothers, and I believed them.
Spotting the warning signs on someone else can also be very difficult.
If somebody comes into a doctor's office, and when they're giving their initial information, they're relying on another person for all their information. When they don't know personal information that they ought to know, that's a telltale sign right there that they're being forced to be in the doctor's office, that they don't really know their own identity because it's been snatched away from them.
Many times victims won't have their own identification. They act fearful when asked a personal question and show signs of physical or psychological abuse.
Initially, oftentimes people don't realize that they're being victimized. By the time they're out of it, or if they're able to get out of it, there can be some confusion, there can be some guilt, there can be depression. Sometimes people experience post-traumatic stress disorder. So those kind of things can linger for a long time.
If you are a victim, there are people who can help. Call 1-888-373-7888 to reach the National Human Trafficking Hotline to make an anonymous report or find help near you. Or you can text HELP or info to be free. If you notice someone who may need help, speak up. You could save their life.
The most important thing they should do is call the police. The police are trained and know what to do, but even telling a teacher, telling a guidance counselor, telling the assistant principal or the principal, everything that you do can help communicate that the issue is there and that we need to focus on identifying those individuals who are the victims.
And experts believe that changing laws and knowing the signs can help put an end to trafficking.
Look out for these things. You'll be helping somebody maybe escape a lifetime of misery. Then you're doing a great public service.
DHS held its final blood drive of the year. Students were able to help save lives by donating blood to the American Red Cross. Over 35 pints of blood were given. This will go to help fill the supply over the summer when blood is needed. Do you want to be up to date on the latest news in Davison? Follow us at DTV_official for all your updates on news, sports, and more. And don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Later on DTV, we'll be airing the DHS Choir Concert, the Davison Middle School Choir Concert, and the Hahn Vocal Concert. If you missed anything from today's newscast, you can go to dtvnews.org and click Watch DTV Now.
What did you guys think of the mock crash? I think it sent a pretty powerful message to students.
Yeah, I got to go see the whole thing out with the juniors and seniors, and I got to watch it all live.
Yeah, it really gave me a whole new outlook on kind of how those things can actually happen. I'm Christian Twing here alongside Matthew Smith, Trace Clinton. Have a great day, Davison.